We're back.
Can I do Tony?
Yeah.
It's because of Tracy.
She asked us to do this. This was her last wish.
I think it's important for us to return.
Y'all got so many secrets.
Time out.
There's a lot of fun.
Trina and Tawanda showing up in the same dresses.
Oh my God. OMG.
We're back.
Can I do Tony?
Yeah.
It's because of Tracy.
She asked us to do this. This was her last wish.
I think it's important for us to return.
Y'all got so many secrets.
Time out.
There's a lot of fun.
Trina and Tawanda showing up in the same dresses.
Oh my God. OMG.
Hey, y'all. Hey, I don't know how I feel. If I can just start out saying that, I don't know how I feel after watching this episode, but we had to talk about it because this is monumental. This is the Braxtons coming back after the loss of Tracy. If y'all are new here, my name is Ashley, and this is my sweet perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related. And y'all, as soon as I saw this was being released, I came to the ladies and I was like, listen, we have to talk about it. And of course they were down, and y'all know who it is. Y'all know who's here. But Kay, I'm going to start with you. How did this make you feel? How did it make you feel, friend, watching this episode?
The Braxtons had needed therapy way before Tracy. Because remember when they tried to do Ayala thing, and then it didn't work right because people was getting attitudes and all that kind of stuff. They need therapy for more than just dealing with grief. So I'm interested to see how they tackle all these other family dynamics because it's a long time coming.
It's a long time. I watched it, and I won't say it out of curiosity, but maybe for nostalgia's sake, because I love this show down bad, and I see the people in the chat talking about it. But honestly, by the end of watching this first episode, I was like, this is going to do way more harm than good. These women are in the same place, if not in worse place than they were before, and that's heartbreaking to me. Tyra, what say you, friend? What did you feel after watching this?
I just felt like God put a rainbow in the sky. It was so sad. Like, it's really surreal to watch this show. I was a devoted Braxtons fan. I would never miss an episode. And Tracy was always one of my faves, as that underdog, always speaking her mind. I love Tracy. So just to not see her here, it feels wrong. It feels really, really odd. And I was hoping with time passing and something as serious as one of the sisters passing, I thought these women would be like in a better place. And not to say that, because I could see some growth, but they aren't far removed from those Braxton sisters that we met on WeTV, all those years ago. We are still there. And I just want so badly for them to be healed as a family. They're not a hot, funky mess, but it's a mess.
It's still a mess, friend. It's still a mess. They still have them same issues. We know that they were able to get together and have a good time. That was never their issue, right? Their issue was when it came to the hard conversations, like their inability to communicate with one another. And I love Mama Evelyn, but it came from the head down. They got it honest, in my opinion. Miriam, welcome. Just finished the episode, ready to discuss. Baby, I thought you unsubscribed yesterday, but I'm glad you're back, sis. After last night, honey. Welcome. Hey, Candy, tap that like button as you enter the room. It's a way to support you. I know that's right, Candy. We appreciate you. Princess says, I used to be obsessed with Braxton family values. Same. Real bad. Oh, Trey, listen, don't do it. Don't. Oh my gosh, that was hard. Hey, Joanne, we're going to get to your question, Joanne. Joanne sent me a question earlier that we're going to discuss within our discussion. So I'll have that ready. I'm so happy they're back, but I'm a miss Tracy real bad. Hi, everyone. Rest in peace, Tracy. This is a tough one, but I'm excited to talk about it. Well, thank y'all for being here. I feel like this season is going to be deep in every aspect. I hope it is. I hope they get to the root of a lot of these issues. Jasmine, welcome. This was me and my Nana show. Oh, I really hated the way they all treated Trey. Listen.
It's early, Princess. It is early.
Hey, Tony. Welcome. Neri says, tears, baby, tears, real tears. Yes. Real tears. I feel misty right now, honestly. As soon as we bring up Tracy, I know. Denise Brady says, we don't need this show. Iyanla episode. Listen, we could have a whole other conversation about Iyanla. They had therapy, but the therapist was Dr. Sherry, who ain't a good therapist, baby. And now they got Spirit. And I just seen Spirit on multiple shows. I had to look up her credentials today because I said, is she? I mean, she's a PhD, married with 7 kids. Maybe she can help. Adrian Wilson Lewis said, I cried the majority of the show. Tracy is missed. She was the light. Hopefully, this therapist, listen, I hope she's a good therapist too, and not just
they done been through a few.
And not
I like
here.
that we didn't know Spirit. We have enough, notable names who pop in on these shows as therapists, and it's also kind of giving, TV therapists or famous therapists. No, I like that we didn't know who the hell Spirit was. I was here for it.
I knew Spirit though. Spirit done been around. Spirit been around since 2009, honey, on the Chitlin circuit of TV shows.
Oh my goodness.
Really?
Yes. Life with Ma. Every time they try to get therapy, it never goes well. I feel like a lot of things go unsaid within the family, and it's sad because they're so closed off. It is sad, especially after this loss. Like Tyra said, you would think they are not growing and moving forward at all, y'all. But we're going to get into it because y'all got a lot to say, and I love that for the conversation. Don't forget, if your comment wants priority, if you want priority for your comment, don't forget to attach $1 to it to make sure that we get to it. And y'all, we're going to start out with the game because we have to make this, with all of the heaviness, we need some lighthearted antics. You know what I mean? We need something, some levity to it. So it's game time. Let's get right into it. Question 1. Who was it that must have a ding-a-ling of gold? He must have a ding-a-ling of gold. Yeah. Was it? Put it in the chat. Kay, who was it that must have a ding-a-ling of gold?
I need multiple choice.
Baby. Okay, they put it in the chat. No, I
know it can't. I know it can't be Gabe, and I know it ain't Gabe. I know it ain't.
It literally is. Gabe. Do you remember?
I ain't want it to be.
It was definitely Gabe. Not they said Tony. Birthday. Carrie, y'all wrong. They made a song because Trina kept going back to Gabe, and he was a cheater. He was cheating on the internet. And so we're gonna play these games throughout throughout the live tonight. But okay, we're gonna go kind of character by character. But I want not character, but sister by sister. And I just wanted to start with Tracy. I want to start here because listen, I miss her. I miss her real bad. She brought something completely different to the show. Not only that, but her character, how she interacted with the sisters, and all she really wanted was for them to be a family and be together. And she just really wanted to feel a part of it. We remember the whole drama with the Braxtons. She got pregnant. They didn't want her in the group with Tamar, Trina, and Tawanda. And so she felt like the redheaded stepchild. And she had been harboring that for all the years. Anytime she tried to bring it up, they kind of shut her down. Like, girl, it wasn't us. It was the record label. It was this, it was this, it was that. And I don't ever feel like she felt fully embraced. Tyra, I'm gonna start with you. What's your favorite memory of Tracy? And what did you think about her dynamic within the family?
Child, I love, like, girl, why you had to come to me first? The one thing that I took away from this show that made me look at Tony and the sisters in just a certain light that wasn't too positive, I hated the way they treated Tracy. You could tell that they all loved each other, but if there was ever, like, oh, you treat this one like the bald-headed stepchild, it was Tracy. It was to watch her struggle in those first seasons of just really trying to find her footing with her sisters. And it's like she was begging to be led into a house that she wasn't welcome in. And I hated that for her. Tracy was great. Like any time. And I love that they showed it here in this episode, I think, where she was walking Trina down the aisle and she tripped. Like, and it's just, Tracy is just, it's too many moments to reflect on with Tracy. She was just the light. Even like I think when they had the stripper or the fitness class or the whatever, Tracy was flirting with the with the instructor. It's a whole lot, but all the way from Tracy's husband to she just deserved better. And I love that later on in the show, I just found myself loving Tracy more because I think she realized for herself, like, I don't need that inner family validation. I'm Tracy. I'm enough all on my own, and I'm bringing something different. She really started to find herself within, the sisterhood or just individually as a woman. Because I think at that point she also got divorced, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I just wish, it's just sad because Tracy is just like the embodiment of, you don't really appreciate someone until they're no longer here. And I really feel like the sisters are feeling the sting of her absence because it shows, I'm sure, in their daily lives. And even in this first little episode of the show, like, Tracy is very much so necessary. All of the sisters have a certain light in a certain place within the family dynamic, but Tracy is the light and just the, to let that air out of the balloon and that tension in the room. And just also very opinionated and bold. Tracy ain't sitting on nothing. Tracy was never one, because we see that a lot in this episode, just kind of withholding, well, I'm not ready to talk, or just that whole dynamic of sisters telling one sister one thing, but we're not going to share it with them all. Tracy would have been the one in that room this episode. Or what you gotta go last for? Trina, just put it all out here while we all here. We all here to support. Like, very bold in her opinion. And I just really love her for that. And I'm gonna miss that type of presence on the show.
I agree, because she was gonna tell the truth no matter what. And she was goofy and she was fun. Like she said, she could outdance everybody there. She was always going to carry that bottom note. You know what I mean? When they harmonized, I stand Tracy. Now, Kay, what say you? And we're going to get into this a little bit deeper, but how did you feel about Mama Evelyn saying that Tracy's the reason they're doing this show, knowing that Tracy had to go off on her own because the sisters quit the show? Remember, before she passed, I think they did like a season, and Joanne had sent me this message. I remember they had Phaedra on it. They had all these different guest appearances, and her sisters refused to show up. What do you think of that whole dynamic? And do you think they're really doing this for Tracy?
Yeah, I highly doubt it, because if they were doing it with Tracy, they wouldn't have quit on her in that one area when they had her going off by herself to do a show. They weren't always that kind to her. Like, especially like her and Tamar bumped heads a lot. Remember, she would always walk out on conversations when it started to get too real. Tamar was out the door every single time. They never sat and communicated about anything. They literally, as if they had perfect relationships, but for some reason,
totally different.
You see what I'm saying? Exactly. When it comes to Tracy, and they chastise her about hers and her situation as if theirs was perfect. So she was the black sheep of the family, and it sucks that they probably never got to make amends for that. Like they were there for her, in the end, but they weren't having those conversations at that time. So there was a lot of things that was like left unsaid, a lot of issues and dysfunction that carried on that they never got a resolve for. And no, they're doing this show because this is what they do. They get back on TV. Tamar never stopped doing reality TV. She had her own show and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
nah.
Child, they're totally different. I hated those scenes, Kay. Like, because this man, I would totally different. It wasn't. Nothing was different about the situations. Or Tony. No, nobody had a good
Exactly. None of them. None of them.
Listen, I love Tamar though. I can't help it. She was one of my favorites.
But I didn't like Tracy Steppins. Like she wasn't taking no ish off of nobody, especially Tamar. She wanted to girl knock you out.
If you look back at them old episodes, you can see Tracy side-eyeing as Tamar talking about he totally different. Girl, Vince was hell. We know Vince was hell. And call a thing a thing. I think what probably triggered me the most, I know when Tracy did her solo project and it was like the sisters didn't come support. And there were some unflattering vocal releases that came out and I didn't see them rally around her like I would have seen them rally around Tony. And I do feel like there's always been a disparity in the relationship. Now, again, Mama Evelyn said they doing it for her and that they never should have left. But I thought Mama Evelyn had said before that the show was the reason that the girls fell apart. I don't know, y'all. But let's go ahead and let's remember Tracy. I got a little video remembrance, and then we'll get into the rest of it. I know. Y'all.
Oh, Lord, not for God's sakes.
Oh. For God's sakes. Listen, we got to talk about it because it all starts here, the head down. But actually, before we get Mama Evelyn involved, let's do another question because, honey, I got a bunch of them. Oh, let's do it. Okay, so we got past dingling of gold, Gabe. Okay, what year did Braxton Family Values first premiere on WeTV? And I'll give you multiple choice, Tyra. I'll start doing multiple choice from here on out. Was it 2008, 2013, 2010, or 2011?
It's between 2010 and 2011. I'm gonna say, damn it. And you said 2008 too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like was it that far? I don't know. Like I'm stuck. I'm gonna say 2011.
That's right. Ding, 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 ding.
I was gonna say, I don't think them outfits went back that far that they was wearing. It wasn't 2008, was it?
That was absolutely right. Okay, so again, it all starts with Mama Evelyn. And so as the episode opens up, we see the girls get together and Mama Evelyn is basically like, Tracy wanted this. That's why we're getting back to do this. And I want to know from UK, what is her motivation? What's Mama Evelyn's motivation at this point? Why is she? Because it seems like she's a big part of why they're doing this. Because we know a lot of the mother sisters don't necessarily want to carry on in this way. What do you think Mama Evelyn's motivation is? And do you think that she's healed at this point? You think Mama Evelyn is free now?
I don't know about her Mama Evelyn's healing, but I feel like maybe this is the only way that she could get the girls together because as I think Trina said that She said you would have thought Tracy's, passing would have brought us all together, and it didn't. Like they're not all on the same page. They are not all together in this. They're in a time that they should be holding on to each other. They're not doing that, and I think that she's like, maybe this is the only way. At least if y'all are on camera together, we got to have some kind of interactions with each other, because it seems like everybody just kind of, off doing their own thing.
Yeah. Tyra, what about you? What do you think Mama E's motivation is? And do you think that she's healed from all that stuff from before? Because she wasn't letting nothing go.
No. Laying it low and spreading it wide. No, like, first of all, when this was even introduced, I was like, are the funds low? That's the only thing I thought. Because, it's the hard times for everybody. And we know Tony D. Braxton has had some financial, troubles. A lot of not to say that the women don't have their own careers or certain businesses, but I just felt like this was for money. That's
so a money grab.
I don't see any other reason. If they aren't healed in real time, in real life together, why would we want to air it out in public on television? I think if it was just like, well, the girls, everybody's okay. We all, we're in such a better place, and we want y'all to see us, in a new light, and who we are now, and how the family is doing, or without Tracy. But as a family, we are okay. We are healed. We've been to therapy. We did the counseling. We are in a better place. These are better Braxtons. These are the same damn Braxtons. So it can't be any other motivation to bring all the girls here after something as intense as losing a daughter, other than a financial reason. That's the only thing I could think of.
And I hope that's not true, but it seems likely. So they arrive to the restaurant because at the end of the day, the girls is finna eat every single time. That has not changed in all the seasons of the Braxtons. And we get there, Tawanda and Trina got the same outfit on because and we're talking about the show. We're talking about what Tracy would have wanted, reminiscing, kind of learning more about the story, how I guess Tracy had been sick for a while. She finally went to the doctor. They told her what the diagnosis was. And she told, Mama E that she was going to fight and that she was going to make it. And we know that a couple years later, she ended up passing in 2022. Some of the sisters, I think most of the sisters, except for Trina, shaved their heads in solidarity. They were by her side. And that Trina's really taking it the hardest and kind of resorting back to the drink. We know they all like a cocktail. Okay. Yes. But she seemed to be the one kind of going a little bit over the edge. I'm going to start with UK. What do you think? That's a coping mechanism, I'm sure, for Trina, but do you think that's going to spill out in this season?
Of course, because alcoholics don't want to be called on their BS. She's not going to want people to say anything about it, especially when she thinks that if she's got it under control, or that's an embarrassing thing to talk about, or I don't have a problem. No, and we know that her grief is not the only thing that's contributing to that. That was just probably just something else added on to all the other trauma that she has not resolved. It's just like, boom, one more thing, and then the little tower of toothpicks that you tried to put together, it just failed. So yeah, that's just a coping mechanism off of a long line of trauma.
I'm sure. In this initial meeting, we also discovered that Tony has been, I guess she now has a residency in Vegas with Cedric the Entertainer. They're doing kind of like this all-inclusive variety show type of thing. But we also find out that she's having a heart condition. She's had a stent placed in her heart. And so she's not her best. She says she lives in fear every day. She feels like she's going to leave Diesel and he needs her. Tyra, what did you think about that whole exchange and kind of her breakdown, especially off the heels of Tracy passing? It felt like a lot.
I'm back to the money thing. I would love for Tony V. Braxton to have several seats. You are a legend. Like, if that type of hair scare is so pretty, and Tony has always been the one, or the sister, like, and it broke my heart when she said, like, I was the one that was sick all the time, and like Tracy died. Like, it was like it was supposed to be me. I'm the one who has all the health issues. That's always been really present for her. So if you're in the later stages of your career and you can sit down, like sit down, enjoy your family, enjoy your children. Clearly tomorrow is not promised. And I just wish she would take those things into consideration. I always really like hurt for Tony. Tony has always been one to isolate herself away from the sisters and be not all that forthcoming with information, especially when it's about her health. And it's just like, why? That is just such a disconnect for me, the way that it's always like a bomb coming. Well, I've been holding this. It's always been that, just like season 1. And to get here and it's still like, I'm still not like the fact that she isn't comfortable sharing those things. I'm sure it's her going into big sister mode, especially with Tracy. Like, I don't want to put all of that heavy, on my sisters, on my family. Let me just keep it to myself. But she does this and separates herself from the family all the time. And I was hoping to get here. I literally cut it. I was like, ooh, I hope Tony not, being all standoffish, or, how she like, it was, it was still very much so that. So I'm just really hurt that Tony doesn't want to, or, can't just sit down and enjoy, the fruits of her labor at this time, and that she doesn't feel comfortable sharing those things with her family even yet and still. But I know how heavy that could be to express that, especially when you've already lost a sister. Nobody wants to think about losing another one.
Yeah. And I get that. And I think it's a lot of survivor's remorse, of course, right? Because she probably thought she'd be the one to go. And I mean, if we don't give nothing else to Tony Braxton, living legend, we can give it to her that she's always tried to keep some money in their pockets. She's really taking care of her whole family for as long as she has been in the game. And that's got to wear on you at some point. Child, what Aisha say? Hold on. That YT man Tamar was with said she was, Lord have mercy.
Child.
Are they back broken up again? Y'all drop it in the chat because I can't keep up.
Expecting, like, at this point nobody's under, because I remember her carrying those things before, because hell, everybody was on payroll pretty much until Tamar went off and did something more and had her own, but everybody has kind of been on the Tony Braxton shoulders. But I don't think that's the case anymore, is it?
I don't know about Tawanda. I never found out what Tawanda really did in real life. I know that Trina married Vaughn, right? And he seemed successful in his own right. But then she also had Bar Chicks. She had some other of her own independent business ventures, and they be on socials all the time. So I'm sure they're getting a social media bag as content creators, probably all of them at this point, because they have a following. But I don't know to what extent, but I can say Tony looks tired to me. She still looks beautiful. But in some of these scenes, she definitely looks tired. Did you want to say something, Kay?
Oh, yeah. No. I ain't even gonna go there with Tamar and that raggedy man. That's a whole show.
I thought they were still together. I thought they broke up and then she went and got her man back. She said, I want that man back.
She did, and she be flying him all around. Like she be like, I'm gonna stick beside him. Okay, girl.
JR, that's his name.
Oh, Lord, that's a problem in itself.
Exactly.
Let me go back because it's trying to get me. Okay, what is the name of Tamar Braxton's son? And I want his whole name. 3 parts.
The whole name.
Yeah. It's easy. It's easy if you know the first one.
Logan.
You know that, but
y'all know this.
Is it Logan Vincent?
Yep. One more.
Hubert.
Yep. Herbert, but close enough, girl. That's close enough. Logan Vincent Herbert. They got it. Princess of mine. Okay, y'all. All right.
Wait, I'm about to say Vincent Jr.
Might as well had. And so after this initial dinner, we saw Tawanda and Tracy get together because while they're pushing their grief aside, because at this point, none of them have gotten grief counseling. None of them have gone to therapy individually for this, which behooves me. When you have, listen, this is not a PSA, but it's kind of a PSA. When you have the resources and can get the help, get the dadgum help. There should no longer in 2024, the year of our Lord 2024, be stigma around getting help with your mental health. There should be no qualms about it. You ain't even got to tell nobody. Just make you an appointment. You can do it online. You can go, what is it? Live Health online. Like you can do so BetterHelp. this is not a plug. I would like a sponsorship, but you can literally Google search virtual online help. If you need a psychiatrist so they can write you some meds, if you just need to talk to somebody. But there is no reason at all of these ladies' big ages, including Mama E, that none of them have gone to get help. As a therapist, Kay, I'm gonna start with you. How did that make you feel? Were you surprised?
I'm trying to think what is their issue with it, because it's like they know I feel like they have an issue with like really truly getting the healing that they need. I feel like when they have had therapy, it's been like surface level, superficial reasons. And the reason why therapy is not working for them is because they won't tackle the real things. Therapy is not going to work for you if you're not going to work on the real problem. And they have not worked on the real problem. And so they could probably say, oh yeah, I tried therapy and it didn't work. Well, because you didn't do what needed to be done in the therapy, and it's not going to work that way.
Yeah. Tyra, is there any excuse for them at their big age not getting individual help after losing their sister?
Child, there's no excuse. My thing is, okay, let me get to that. I don't think these people are going to therapy. There has been I feel like, I'm all here for Black people going to therapy. I used to love the fact that, it's one of the few shows where we would see, we have problems, but we're working on it. We're going to therapy. I feel like it's for show.
Just to say they're not doing no real therapy. It's not real.
I feel like every season we went to a different therapist and nobody could help.
And didn't do nothing.
I think individually they need therapy. Mm-hmm. And then once we have our individual therapy, however long that takes, then they should come back together and try to do a group therapy session. But them there with all their grievances and problems and secrets and everything else that they've been harboring for who knows how long, and then one random person is just supposed to, no, they need to do some separate healing and then come together. But I would wish that they would get separate therapy to grieve Tracy properly, but not even that. They didn't even grieve together. They didn't support each other in Tracy's action. Everybody was just like, oh, what?
Which is crazy.
I would think you would want to be, you know what, I'm going to be the closest to my sisters that I have, ever been in my life. And it's just like the separate happened. That is crazy to me. I don't understand it. I don't know if you got, but I have a sister. Never. What?
There is so much beneath the surface. I don't think any of us have been privy to. They must reside in secrecy, because there's no way. I've had to deal with grief in solitude, and that is nothing anybody wants to have to encounter, especially when you got 3 other sisters now that you can confide to, and a mama, and you mean to tell me and a brother, and you mean to tell me y'all all went your separate ways, and didn't lift each other up and wasn't up under each other? Because I want to be up under all my people if something like that happened, and especially when you have them.
Well, actually, I don't know if that's a topic of conversation here, but I was really hurt that only Trina was there to watch Tracy pass all on her lonesome. That was terrible. I was like, what? Why?
Because this comment right here, that comment right there, they don't.
And something happened that they're not talking about. Something had to have happened in the family that they're not talking about, because there's clearly lines drawn in the sand. You'll see Tamar and Tony together, right? You'll see them get together more than you see really anybody else. In this episode, we saw Tawanda and Trina together, which kind of goes together. They've always lived, I think, kind of closer to each other and done things together. But other than that, they're still distant, living their own lives. Which
remember Evelyn said one time that we don't air out our family business, like the deep stuff. Like she was not against, and when I think it was Ayala, when she was just we don't talk about certain stuff like that. And this is why their therapy is not working, because they're not talking about the real problem. They're trying to fix the little surface level stuff. They're not talking about the real reason why they don't get along and why this family is so dysfunctional.
I don't know.
And it started with Mama Evelyn.
That told me everything I needed to know, because there was no place I was going to be but right there with my sister, watching my sister. like in her last moments, and Tracy was there. Like I wasn't even mad at Tracy because I know you discussed her drinking. Like, child would have me a couple of glasses of wine too. As far as just meeting the sisters, I honestly felt like the only one who had some type of growth. Tawana has always been the more mature one, but I just felt like some growth for me is happening on Trina's part. I liked her interaction that she had with her husband, but it hasn't been a whole lot of growth, period.
Not at all. And we'll talk about the drinking just because I think it runs deeper for her, because even in the old seasons, drinking has been a thing for her. And I think, well, and we'll get to her because I have a lot of thoughts on Trina. But question number 4, y'all. What is the name of the Braxton sisters' father?
Michael
Braxton.
What's the middle name?
Looky here. Middle name. That is Michael Braxton Senior. Because the brother is Junior. I don't know that middle name.
Candy, quit playing with me, Candy. She said Leroy. No, it's not
Leroy Braxton Senior. Girl, that is Michael Braxton Senior, and the brother is Junior. That's all I know. I don't know. Anybody in the chat know? Anybody in the chat know? Thank you y'all for like 68 people in the chat tonight. We appreciate you being here. Not Leroy. Come on, y'all. Give me a guess. The middle name, it starts with a C. It starts with a C. Carlton.
Christopher.
Nope.
Clarence.
Nope. Child. Okay. Michael Conrad Braxton.
Nobody would have got that.
I mean, I feel like if I was up under Mama Braxton, because she quick the do not invite. If Michael Conrad Braxton is gonna be there, I ain't coming. Very, very. It's me or your daddy. So maybe she did say his full name in them shows, Shaba. I don't know.
Oh my goodness gracious. I'm sorry. I meant to go to her first. And so now in the show, we saw again Tawanda and Trina. They go out to lunch again because, like I said, if the Braxton girls don't do anything else, they are going to go and eat. And they finally say, let's call our nephew, Tracy's son, because he's getting a divorce. Everybody seems upset about it, but I ain't seen nobody fly out to Baltimore to go and see about him face to face. Like, baby, I need to look at you and make sure you're straight. I don't get that. Like I said, all about mine. I feel like I need to make sure he's straight. To lose a parent so young, right? And now to be losing his wife because they're getting a divorce. But they said they need to call him, right? And they said, baby, we need to go to therapy. He said, I really need that too. And so later in the episode, we see that. But Tyra, I'm going to start with you. What did you think about that call to him? How did you feel about FaceTime?
Not even so much the call, because everybody's so concerned. Not a divorce, not Olivia. Oh, everybody's just so hurt and stunned at the fact that he is getting a divorce. And even when we have Tamar reference later, we hang out all the time, we talk all the time. He ain't even tell me nothing about that. Like the lack of just accountability in this, like it just irks me, because some things I would love to do with my family, but sometimes you don't have the means to fly out or just go. Y'all very much so have it. If y'all don't go and touch bases and touch, just even him being there on the screen for the counseling session later. Like, I love that we do see Trina being more so agile with how passionate she is and making sure that he's okay. Let me call, let me touch bases. How are you? But clearly he's not. And he isn't. Girl, go over there. Somebody go over there. When we have all this footage and, we've been there to see it, Tracy loved her son down. If she didn't love nobody, she loved her son. And I'm sure it ran deep the same way. So you would think that, come here. I don't even care. Just come here, spend some time with the family. Like, just something. Rally around him. Y'all not gonna rally around each other? Fine. Rally around Tracy's son. And then they even say that he, is no longer, the relationship with the father. It was always a little rocky. That was a mama's baby. Go. Like, nobody's moving. I'm not understanding. There's all this concern. So, Lord forbid something happens and everybody go, oh, like I knew something. Go over there. I'm loving that, you know, they are thinking about him and his well-being, but I'm not loving the fact that nobody's copped a flight.
That was my sentiments exactly, because why aren't y'all there? Why isn't he with y'all? Get him out of that environment. Send for him. Let the baby come with y'all. I didn't like it. Kay, read this comment for me and respond to it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this.
Yes, Cali girls do it best. I feel like a lot of Black families have very similar issues to the Braxtons when it comes to sweeping things under the rug and dealing with deep issues. Yes, if Black families actually worked on that, I probably wouldn't have a caseload or a job. That's pretty much my work. That's why I'm here, because of that is the main issue that I deal with.
I know. Okay, what kills me is that they have the resources. A lot of these families, I'm sure you're talking to, it's fortunate that you're talking with some, but some people don't have the time or the resources to actively get help. Y'all have it, and we just not exercising it at all. Child, the kind of therapy I would be going to, it wouldn't be a therapist on the block I ain't saw.
But see, when you have a core belief that tells you that I'm gonna just pray about it, or you have a core belief that says we don't talk about this kind of thing, or we have a core belief that says I should be a strong woman and I have to, and we don't talk about, I can deal with it on my own. I shouldn't have to pay to talk to somebody about this when I could talk to my mom, I could talk to my friend, I could talk to my sister. Okay, well, none of those are qualified to help you deal with your issues because they're the ones that cause you to have those problems. And that's what we don't realize.
That's why I don't want them all there having therapy at the same time, because we could all be here and, well, mommy said we don't talk about those things. So we're here in therapy, but I can only say so much because I won't want my mama to be upset that I revealed whatever happened in 85.
And she the one that exactly. That's the whole thing is they go into saying, I'm going to talk to these people, but those are the people that cause you to be where you are now. That's not how therapy works.
No. Individual therapy.
It's heartbreaking. And I'm, you know, I love Jesus, but listen, have Jesus and get therapy.
I tell my clients all the time. I said, if you prayed about it, then look, Jesus is the one that sent you to Black therapists. Hi. You asked and he delivered.
That part. You asked.
Don't block your blessings.
But yeah, so later we're going to discover in this episode, as it relates to Trina, that even, you know, dealing with Tracy and being, like you said, the one that was there that watched her take her last breath, she still hadn't quite recovered from Gabe's passing. We know her first husband, who she was divorced from and remarried already, right? But she had been with him since I think she was 15 or 16 years old. So more than half of her life at that time. She hadn't fully reconciled with his passing, and then compounded with her sisters, and actually, again, being the one there with her. Now is kind of turning to drinking, and we're going to see that, I think, exposed more and more as the season goes out, which is another reason I'm not sure I want to watch. Tyra, I'm going to ask you, does it feel exploitative to you? Because I know they all signed on, and I know they're all very grown, but this is such a tender and vulnerable situation in my mind.
Absolutely. The moment that this was mentioned, I was like, what? Why? Why? Like, the moment that the idea of this show, not that I don't love these ladies, but for this particular time, it absolutely feels like an exploitative moment, because they just need more help than they could ever get on this. What is this supposed? This is not helping. This is making things worse. It always has. It always has. Like, this is just them having a time to look at themselves being unwell and drinking and, you know, not dealing with grief properly, not having a real, you know, true sisterly bond, people being left out and them choosing sides and Miss Evelyn being Miss Evelyn. Like, it's, I don't want to see the ship go down. I'll say that. I'm going to watch it. But I don't want to see the ship go down. I love them, you know, at their best and brightest moments, but we would be lying to say that this family doesn't have some issues that they clearly aren't dealing with. So if we get here in 2024 and those issues are still very present, the last thing we need to do is come on TV. No.
And become public fodder again. And it's even worse now in terms of social media and exposure. They're gonna eat these ladies up, and that is what's bothering me. We've seen them go through this cycle. I mean, we've been a witness to it. They film a couple seasons, they fall out, nobody's talking to each other. They're gonna have a reunion moment, they're gonna get back together, then they're gonna do it all over again.
Well, I was going to ask you, I'm like, did I miss something? Are they contractually obligated to be here? Is this in the contract?
I think they were out of the contract. This is brand new. This is unrelated to Braxton family values. To my understanding, this is a new deal that they renegotiated.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they would fall out, they would come back and they would do a new series. Tamar would have her spinoff. Tracy had her spinoff. Then they'd be like, okay, we're gonna go to TD Jakes and he's gonna cast out the demons and we're gonna do this again. And then they'd fall out over again. It's like an unending cycle. And I just, ooh, child. My mama said, ain't nothing worse than being an old fool. Okay. And my definition of foolish is not learning from your previous mistakes and situations. Child, but let's ease on down the road. Next question. Question number 5. What was the name of the talk show that Tamar Braxton co-hosted for a limited time only? I'm gonna start with UK.
The Real?
Mm-hmm. That's the Real.
Well.
I can't with you.
I stopped watching after she left.
Me too.
She made that show, and I think they did her bad on that. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but I feel like they played in her face. Okay, all right, y'all. Speaking of Tamar, let's get to it. Tamar wasn't really giving up nothing this episode. I don't feel like I know any more about Tamar than I know from watching her on live or on Instagram. Kay, did you get anything from Tamar worth talking about during this premiere episode? Did y'all in the chat drop it in the chat if she gave something?
Tamar too hyperfixated on trying to fight others celebrity reality stars for her colonizer, and I just can't. she be worried about the wrong thing at this point.
So I want to ask you this, Tyra. We know that Tamar had baby sister syndrome real bad. And that doesn't seem to have changed. Is Tamar going to open up? Are we going to see tears from Tamar as we always have? Or will we see a different new Tamar this season?
Them tears coming. Them tears stay on deck. I'm expecting tears next episode. I'm scared for Tamar. Just in the like, it's just too much going on. Like, Tamar tried to take herself out of this world, and how frivolous they can be about certain topics of conversation, even just gearing up for the therapy. Like, well, who is Spirit? Like, I was like, what is this? What are you doing? Like, well, I'm just here as moral support. I already did. Baby, you of all the sisters, you could never have too much therapy. Nobody's, beyond help or therapy or anything. I'm just here for moral support because I'm good. You're not. As far as I can see, none of you are. Nobody's, completely and totally good at all. Somebody call me tomorrow and say, hey, you trying to get in on this therapy? Hell yeah, I'm coming. Period. But to isolate herself from the therapy session already before it even began, her and Tony, because they always have to side. I'm like, I did not like any of that. And I'm hoping that we get a little bit more in depth into Tamar and her state of mind, state of being, and where she is, because that man she chasing after in real time, that's not giving us anything, good or tangible to think that she's okay, because that just makes me think you're unwell, because maybe no. And then all we got is, she's sick of living in Atlanta where they lemon pepper her wings, or lemon pepper step in everything.
Lemon pepper.
Everything. I mean, yeah, Kiki, funny girl, but no, are you okay? Are you okay? That whole situation happened, and it was just like, I'm back. It was no. I was uncomfortable with that. I expected them to really just be, regardless of whose spirit. Like, it's a therapist. She's coming here. It just I felt like they were undermining at that moment what Trina was trying to do and why she was trying to do it. And that makes people reluctant going in and causes discomfort before we even start the therapy session. So I didn't like that.
Yeah, I feel I think they are so used to masking what's really going on, because I was very surprised this episode, especially when they were out. There was not a display of emotion that the way I thought a display of emotion would come when talking about their sister that had passed not too long ago. Because we know filming probably started like a year or more ago. And the fact that Tamar, who cries at the drop of a hat, completely dry faced, like Tony's going through her own crisis and she's crying, but everybody else was very composed. And it just makes me think they're so used to covering everything up and not dealing with the thing, right? That's in the room staring at them. I'm praying for Tamar, because listen, he fooled me on Queen's Court. I can't lie. JR fooled me where she met him on that reality show. But he's shown himself, and I don't know why she would be embarrassing herself out in these streets. It's the worst. And like you said, she didn't went to see the soothsayer. She didn't went to see the preacher. She didn't went to go see anybody and everybody she can to try to get help. And Tamar's still not helped fully post-Sting. Question number 6. In an infamous line from a previous season, Tamar tells this iconic line to her sisters about Vince. Y'all, Tyra, because you're going to act it out. You're going to be dramatic.
I get with you. Because, baby, this one right here is totally different. Like, it wasn't lies you tell, girl. Lies you tell. Why? Oh, girl, living in that fantasy.
Oh my gosh. Ariel Wilkerson, hey, if the Braxtons can listen to Dr. Sherry, then they can definitely listen to Spirit. Listen, Dr. Spirit got the letters behind her name. She'd been in practice for a very long time. Again, like I said, I'd seen her, but I was like, is this like a money grab? Is she doing this to really help? I would hope. I know that y'all take oaths about that, but I'm just like,
I don't want to see you guys getting help from a celebrity therapist. I was happy until you said old Spirit had been around the block. I was like, baby, dang. Lord, thought we had a no name, not a famous celebrity therapist, just a regular therapist.
Baby, Dr. Spirit done been around town. Oh, now we have Tony, y'all. Tony Braxton, living legend. Okay. She seems like she's living in fear and on the edge. She seems like she's in limbo right now. They're telling her that she'll have to have heart surgery, but in the meantime, even after getting the stent in her heart, she could have a heart attack at any time. Especially if she continues to tour and continues to do these shows, which she insists on doing.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Where is she at mentally that she wouldn't, like Tyra said earlier, baby, just retire. Let me go sit out in the hills, okay, with my baby and drink pina coladas. She also said that she's not married and she's not engaged, but she's not single. What's going on with Miss Tony Braxton, the living legend?
You know, Black women, please release yourself from the shackles of overworking yourself. Because why? We are not on the plantation. Nobody is coming after you with a whip because you want to sit down. Nobody is going to sell your husband and children because you want to sit down. Put your health first.
1824. She gonna stay in slavery. Exactly.
Release yourself from it. And she just should, like, she's doing way more than what she has to do right now. And if she's so worried about her son, then you need to be more focused on your health. Like, she doesn't have to do, she's getting money from all of her previous albums. She's getting money from shows being in syndication. She's getting social media money. if this is a period that your heart is in jeopardy, let's put your health first, because none of those people that you about to perform for is going to come and take care of the boys for you. And obviously, if you're worried about leaving that one son, your ex-husband is not going to be there in the capacity that you would be. You got to think about what's important. There is no reason to be overworking yourself. No, there's no cause for it, and release yourself from the shackles of thinking that you have to do it.
Yeah. And doing this show. Tyra, what say you?
Well, every time we get into Miss Toni D. Braxton and her finances, I revert all the way back to that interview she did with Oprah all them years ago. And
Was it the Louis Vuitton dishes?
Those Louis Vuitton dishes. I thought about it so hard because she's like, oh, Miss Toni D. Braxton loves lavish, expensive things and these tea sets and everything. It's just, opulence. I'm really hoping like hell, because Toni has filed for bankruptcy twice in her lifetime. I'm hoping that this is just the performer in her who wants to, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out on my own merit. I love singing. That's who I am. I'm not ready to retire just yet. I'm hoping that it's that, and it's not, living beyond means, and we're financially tight, and we're on this show, and we're also residency in Vegas, and all, like, money, from the 90s, even those early 2000s, it's not the 2024, that is not the same money. Celebrities are not getting the same revenue. And I would hate to think of the Toni going out in a way of just working herself down to nothing because financially she needs to. Like, and I would just hope that after so long, Aisha K, after so long, I don't want, a true Hollywood old school situation of, this person was working themselves to the bone and they look like this, but in actuality, this is what they really had in the bank. I really hope Toni has some funds in the tuck. I would hope that Toni would be able to retire and think about her health first and enjoy her time with her children. Toni has nothing left to give to the world of R&B, child. It is just set.
Exactly.
She's a legend. So the fact that she hasn't done that yet, I was just really feeling like it's financial, and I really hate that for her, because if anybody deserves to sit down and enjoy, the fruits of their labor and the career and the legacy that they have, it's Toni Braxton. And the fact that she can, or she's choosing not to, is sad.
She should have learned her lesson. If she ain't got a good accountant at this point, then she can only blame herself.
Because even I'm looking at this comment by was it Rod at the bottom, said when Tamar said bring out the Toni Braxton expensive stuff. Like, yeah, like it's an attachment to Toni in the sister circle to always have known that, Toni likes, to spend. She likes expensive things. She likes to live lavishly. But I would think if that was the case, Toni can live better than most and still, have some money in the tuck to not be having a residency when we can have a heart attack at any damn moment.
Yeah, I think she's accustomed to a certain lifestyle. I think that's a part of it. And keeping up. And at this point, girl, who are you trying to keep up with? Ain't no keeping up with the Joneses. I would have a hot shot apartment in LA proper. I'd probably get out them hills, because the house that she was in getting her in her full team, that's probably there 24/7. Do they live in? Like, girl, we could cut some of these expenses and you could live comfortably for a long time. And I'm with TP. Let Birdman rub his hands together. He got it. I wouldn't be lifting a finger. Birdie. I mean, you done lost the man's wedding ring, engagement ring, excuse me. I feel like she does it to keep herself busy and push herself away from the other issues that she's dealing with. I know, and that's probably another thing. Toni's been sick for so long, and people telling her what she can't do. I wonder how much of it is obstinance. And thank you for the 71 people here in the chat on tonight. Thank you for being here to talk with us about that. What were you gonna say, Kay?
Oh, it said, yeah, Birdman got it. I don't know why she's not in line. If she know, if the rumor mill is true and she's broke yet again, Birdman been sitting in the corner this whole time, rubbing his hands like, Toni, what you waiting? What are you waiting on?
Hey, would you go over there with Birdman to be kept?
She already has. Go back.
I back.
She already has.
I go right back. I sure would. Birdie, come on, Bird. She was doing it for free before. Like, why not just go on and sign up? It ain't fair exchange. Ain't no robbery. She was doing it of her own free will and volition before. Girl, now that you need him, go collect it. Go check. He'll take care of her big expenses. It ain't nothing to a boss. It ain't tricking if you got it. Question number 7. Tamar, before starting her solo career, said that she no longer wanted to be what for Tony?
The doo-wop
It's a
pop.
very specific thing.
Do-wop, pop, pop. Okay? We tired of being the do-wop, pop, pop in the background.
Oh, y'all got that too quick. Y'all got that too quick.
Yeah, everybody know Tamar wasn't finna do wop pop pop for the Toni Braxton all her damn life, girl. I want my own career.
And y'all, I didn't get into this like I wanted to. What did y'all think? Because Tawanda, I had seen that she had shaved her head a while ago, and I thought it was in solidarity to Tracy. We later discover that she does have alopecia, and how concerned she was about how the public would receive her. Tawanda has always, and she's railed against this, right? That she's always been the strong sister. She's always been the responsible one. And I kind of was getting my life a couple years ago on socials when I saw her living outside the box. Honey, she was outside chasing rocks. She had her like a little fine man. I don't know if they're still together or whatever. But Tyra, I'll start with you. What do you think of Tawanda's growth in this? Do you see growth? Do you think she's the most well-adjusted sister?
Tawanda's always been the most well-adjusted sister. Tawanda is the one for me who never gave pushback. She kind of played her role. Because it's different being a doo-wop pop pop chick, and then there's a difference in being Toni Braxton's assistant, and she played that role for quite some time, and she never let that make her feel down on herself or like she was less than, because all the sisters have had their own separate experience of kind of playing background to Toni because maybe they couldn't, find their height of success individually, or when they tried to be the Braxtons group, or just Tawanda always kind of knew, what her strong suits were within the sisterhood, and she played into those. If nobody can get it done, Tawanda can get it done, but they can also put a lot on your shoulders. But hell, Tawanda is just Tawanda for me. I didn't see any difference in besides her hair, which looks gorgeous. She looks beautiful bald. Besides, I love when Tracy was like, I got mommy's round face. I'm not shaving my head. I love y'all, but no. I love that she's still Tawanda and very confident in herself to present in this way, even though I was surprised that she was even concerned with what anybody would think. But it also leaves a room for you to be conscious of that strong Black woman trope. Are you guys actively checking on Tawanda also? Because she is the one who's always, let's call Tawanda. She's responsible. She's resourceful. But yeah, I also have my own moments like now that I do need my sisterhoods and I need the shoulder to lean on. I would love for everybody to be here for that and not just so much Tracy. Well, not Tracy.
Trina. Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Question 8. Since we're on Tawanda, what is the name of Tawanda Braxton's ex-husband who also appeared on the show in years past?
Oh, Lord. Child. Girl. What is it? It's on the tip of my tongue, I swear. And Tamar used to go in on him for hell.
Because he ain't do nothing. He was terrible too.
Jesus. Oh God. Okay, what is his name? I know the name because Lord, we just wanted him to get a job. Is it Dre?
That's part of it.
Part of it.
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre?
Take the D off.
Andre.
His name is Andre Carter. Andre Carter. Yes, yes. Coming through in the chat, y'all. Coming through.
What we're doing enough.
Question number 9. How many children does Trina Braxton have, Kay? How many kids does she have? Okay. Y'all cleaning up here on the back end. And I think
That oldest son and that daughter.
this is the final question. And I want to say y'all have said it already in this live. What iconic phrase did Evelyn Braxton coin when speaking about her husband, her ex-husband, excuse me?
Yeah, he was laying it low and spreading it wide.
That's exactly what you said. That's exactly what she said, y'all. But okay, so here's my question. Now that we've kind of covered most of everything that happened during this premiere episode, y'all, they didn't come with a ton of substance. This first episode, it was really just, I think, to reel people in, kind of set the tone for what we're going to see this season. I'm going to start with UK. First of all, I want to know, are you going to keep watching it for the rest of the season? And then 2, I want to know, if you're going to keep watching it, what do you hope to see come out of this?
Yes, I'm definitely going to keep watching it. I want to say I'm actually happy that Trina is still with Vaughn. I'm glad that she's in seemingly a healthy marriage, that he seems like a good, like, she's, as much issues as Trina goes through, it doesn't look like he's one of them. And that's a good thing, that we can count him out of the problem list.
Yeah.
I would like to see them actually go below the surface and get to the root of the issues and stop. They keep looking for a quick fix, or let's look at the easy fix. They're looking for the, I'm smoking a cigarette, what can I do? Oh, here, get the tobacco patch, here, get the chewing gum, and or get you an adult coloring book. They're looking for the easy answer. I want, why did you pick it up in the first place? What was the stress and anxiety that caused you to pick it up in the first place? That's where they're not going, and that's where I need them to go.
Yeah. Tyra, are you going to keep watching? And if you do, what do you expect to see, or what would you hope to see from this season?
Actually, if you hadn't mentioned it, I wouldn't have watched it. I wouldn't have watched it because I can't remember exactly what season, but I stopped watching the show because I didn't want to continue to see them in the same, place. And I was hoping going back this time there would be some growth and we would see, I want to say see some women, but see some women, some sisters. And I love, the part of their sisterhood that is fun and funny and making up the songs, but something is wrong here. And if we're not going to get to that and try to, Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm not asking them to be whole and, happy and fulfilled by whatever the finale is. But if it's going to be the same surface level separation, we're going to group therapy, we're going to mommy's house, and I'm hanging out with Tawanda and I'm hanging out with Trina, but I'm not hanging out with Tamar, and Tony's not present at much of anything because she's busy. Like, I don't really care to see any of that. I don't want to see any scenarios where they have to choose between the father and the mother because the dad remarried and we don't like and spraying it low. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that unless we're going to outgrow those situations. I don't care to watch it, honestly.
Yeah, it made me so sad watching this first episode because I didn't see any growth. I saw no maturation in anyone, including Mama Evelyn. And so I'll probably give it another shot. I don't know if it's something, y'all have to drop it in the comments below and let us know if you want us to keep talking about this. But honestly, if it's just going to devolve, I don't want to see them unravel further. Like, it's hard enough to me with Tracy being gone, but y'all, that's what happened. And then at the end of the episode, thank you, Life with Ma, because I was sure gonna leave it off because nothing happened in the bootleg therapy session. We get Dr. Spirit to the house. Trina called her, Tamar, talking about who's Dr. Spirit. Girl, shut up. Tamar is just funny. And so they all get around and it's time to share. And she says that Dr. Spirit says, I'm never going to use any of your words to weaponize you guys against each other. This is not about conflict. This is all about healing and growth. And I like that approach. But I just don't know if these ladies are going to be receptive to it. Life with Ma says, when Trina said, "Can I not go first?" I literally yelled at my TV and was like, "Girl, wasn't you the one who called the therapist?" What did you, because I completely glossed over this because I was like, child, but what did you think of this, the start of this therapy session? Because you know that was the cliffhanger. We'll have to wait till next week to see what happened. But what did you think, Kay, of this introduction with Spirit and her whole line about, "I'll never weaponize you guys against each other," or
she's setting herself up for a lot of work with that family, because they need to talk to somebody individually. And this is why therapy is not working. Because Trina, if you was in an individual session, you can't tell the therapist, I can't go first, that you don't want to talk about it. Then why are you there? Why are you there if you don't want to talk about the problem? What is the point?
Tyra?
Child, I was like, Trina, you brought the therapist to the house. You told the therapist to come to the house. Why would you invite the therapist to the house if you weren't ready to do therapy in the house, Trina? I was over the therapy session before they even sat down. The way that the girls all responded, Tawana didn't say much per usual. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna support it. Let's go ahead. And Trina having to explain why she called the therapist exactly, because who is Spirit? And then Tony responding, and yeah, we don't know, like what kind of name, like why are we calling her Spirit? Because that's her name. Her name is Spirit. Tony, like, oh. And then when she says like, well, everybody, let's go. Well, you get the door. I don't know her. I don't know her, Trina. So you should go and get the door. I mean, why are we rushing to go to the couch? It's not like we late for class. Or get your ass over there. Get over there.
The same antics.
Get over there. Like, that pissed me off. And so then when we all sit down, it just needs to be a welcoming environment. I do feel like if the sisters were more receptive and it was a warmer reception when Trina brought it up on the way and even getting to the couch, then maybe she would, it don't take much in the house. It don't take much, to trigger someone to be like, well, you know what? I don't want to go first. Like, let's I wish she had gone first, girl. You set this up, go first and get it out. But the fact that Trina didn't want to go first, it lets me know that this is going to be surface level, and this isn't going to end well. I think it's either going to end in an argument, especially, I'm like, you got Daddy here on the screen. Even Daddy came. I was like, he awake? Yeah, this is important. I'm awake for this. I ain't take my sleepy pills, my happy pills. I'm here in the camera.
He said with his name on the shirt. He said, Daddy, you forget his name.
His name on the shirt. Need y'all know who I am, just in case you don't know. And then we got Kevin here. I'm like, let's not make this a drama-filled moment or an argumentative moment, or, I'm leaving. Tamar good for walking out. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Because, they have the same thing. Tamar's going to get upset and walk out. Then you have Tawanda looking like, oh my God. And then Tony's just always kind of over it. Like, I could have been on stage in Paris. I don't have to be here. I don't have to be here. I don't want that, especially not in front of Kevin, who's already down at this moment and in the midst of a divorce. Hopefully it's positive, but with that cliffhanger, it looked like the same old therapy.
Well, damn, Tyra, that was a good wrap up of the whole Braxton family values.
There it goes.
That's exactly how it went.
That's exactly, because nothing has changed, and I hate that. But yeah, drop it in the chat if you want more Braxton lives. A 1 for yes, a 2 for no. I see a couple responses. Yes, do more Braxton lives. Rod says yes, do more. Candy says yes. Honey Ray Amore says, yeah, let's try episode 2 and see how it goes. Might as well. I can get on board with that. Miriam says yes. 1 for yes, 2 for no. If y'all come through and comment and let us know, we can come back for episode 2 and try it on a case-by-case basis, no long commitments, because if they up to their old shenanigans next episode and wasting our time, y'all, I don't know. But 77 people in the chat. it means so much when y'all come through to support us. We appreciate you so much. We can't say it enough.
Surprised, like 55 to 57 people of you here on my end. Y'all watching this? I'm very surprised that y'all showed up for this. Girl, it's 50, 55. Just in here. Y'all just in here.
They said live is better than the show. I'm telling you, they you know, people like a little reality. I knew this was gonna be nostalgic and hit some things, but I just, like I said, some moments are just challenging to watch. The key for them is mystery. They don't speak the truth because of her.
Correct, Rod. Correct.
I'll watch it, but if Tamar storms out of the house, I'm gonna be upset. Okay, everybody better sit in the house on the couch. It's so nervousing. If we stay for the therapy session and do it together in the house and it's not nervousing, come on, we got something to work with. But I swear, if Tamar cries or storms out, or Tony gives the "I'm over this, I could have been at my residency" type of face.
She's like, I'm over it. I'm over it. Okay,
above it all, like she doesn't have her own problems, girl.
But before we go, Tyra, let the people know what's going on at Struggle Reviews TV. Let them know.
Hey, well, tomorrow, Lady in the Lake lovers, if you are in the house, please be ready for us to review episode 5. We're going in on that same time as usual, 6 o'clock CST time for Lady in the Lake. Monday, we will be discussing Why Did I Get Married? Teetering over into some good old Tyler Perry. Please be on the lookout for that link to be up tomorrow for Tyler Perry's Why Did I Get Married? It is very, very sure to be a hot ass mess. Please don't miss that, because y'all know how I feel about Tyler Perry. If you missed that, girl, you missed the bus. Don't miss the bus. We got to get to where we need to be. Then you're going to have to stand at the bus stop sweating. Go on, do that. And of course, Tuesdays, we talk vampires. Tuesdays, season 1, episode 4 of good old Louis and Lestat for Interview with the Vampires. So be on the lookout for all of those things and all the other things we have coming in the week. There are some documentaries coming. There may or may not be some Bel Air. Let us know what you guys are interested in, first of all, but be there to support us in everything that we do. Thank you.
Thank you, y'all, and subscribe, hit that like button, do all of the things. 75 people still in the room. Kay, let the people know what you got going on, and y'all go over to Kay's page. She is so close to 1,000 subscribers. I can taste it. Y'all, please, if you haven't already, go over there and show some love for all things horror, all things comic book, all things nerdy. She's got you covered. What you got going on, friend?
Yes, all the things that Tyra said, all that. Plus, I got a trailer reaction for Welcome to Derry review for Deadpool and Wolverine. I got some throwback shorts up there. Just all that and above. Like, if you a nerd and you like horror stuff, just come on, hit that subscribe button, y'all. I'm this close, so I need y'all to go ahead and do it now.
This close. Watch this. But y'all, thank you guys so much for showing up. We appreciate you. And thank you, Miriam, for showing so much love and support, baby. As soon as you got subscribed, you came through and have been supporting us on all these lives. And we love you real bad. Thank you, Joanne, for making me my little mix, girl, and for being a moderator on my channel. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for the support. It means...
Can you put TP's comment up before we get out of here so we can promote our stuff? If ours next sexy man live, y'all are blind. Oh, you guys, last night we committed all kind of crimes in hosting the Sexy Man of Hollywood Live, Sexy Black Man, and talk about in the most shallow manner, talk about some beautiful black men. So if you guys want to be there for that, that is up on all of our channels, of course. So go and run those videos up and let us know what sexy man y'all want to see next.
Lord, Joanne, you just had to throw this in there. Now she knows my secret, which is that I do watch Love during and after lockup.
I used to. I stopped. I had to stop myself.
Listen, y'all, I'm trying to get them people get active in the chat. They want to come and argue. I did Prison Brides, and half of them Prison Brides was after me. They was like, "Why you got so much to say about my baby? You're on public television." But I watch the ratchetness. So listen, if I can corral the ladies and some other people, Joanne, I might see what I could do. I'm not making no promises. You guys, so much for being here. We appreciate you. See you tomorrow because Maddie cut up on Lady in the Lake. So be there tomorrow or be square. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything ever. And yeah, we're going to see y'all in the next video.
We're back.
Can I do Tony? Yeah.
It's because of Tracy.
She asked us to do this. This was her last wish.
I think it's important for us to return.